All right, I'm here in my office slash man cave, and last time I talked about a class, and this time I was thinking about talking about something else I'm really passionate about. Obviously, it's surfing. I won a contest this weekend in San Clemente, and I just want to show the board I used, which is my new, what we call the model from Rusty Surfboards. It's called the Hustler. It's kind of a small wave board. The waves were pretty horrible. And it's got some of my sponsors on the bottom. Obviously Rusty, Skosh, Muscle Aid Tape, Matus, Spikes, Tactical, and Pipe Hitters sent me some clothes. They're just an awesome guy. And Viscous, Joe at Viscous is my guy. So first contest I won on Viscous. This is a, oh, grab a mic. This is a wax alternative that is made out of 100% biodegradable stuff. So it's super sticky. You can get in different stickiness, water temps and stuff, and then clear, and also you can get stuff printed on it customly. So I got the Spikes logo put on here, and I got a photo, but my foot is actually over the spider, so next time I think I'm gonna get the spider up higher, maybe a little bigger and off the thing. Anyway, it's alternative board, which means, let me go a little wider angle on it. So it has a little fuller nose as compared to my shortboard, which I'll just grab one of my shortboards really quick. This is my magic board. Didn't ride it, but this one is a little pointier nose than this one. The volume's a little different. My shortboards are about a liter less than my small wave boards, about a liter more, which is the volume. If some people are watching this and don't know, maybe they're gun guys and they don't know the difference, but they just measure volume, how much overall, like if you were to put it into like a bucket, how much volume would be in there. So this one is, I think it's 24, maybe 25. So no, it's probably 24 and a half. I think my shortboards are 23, but awesome. This is a quad. Usually my alternative boards are quads, which means it has 4 fins. This one has, you can see it. It's a pretty crazy bottom. Let's see if I can get a shadow. So I can get this shadow going on it. Oh, there's a little bit. So it's a bonza bottom, so it funnels the water through the fins more. This is offered in a 5-fin configuration, so you can ride it as a thruster or a quad, which, let me try to push this chair a little more, which some people ride as a thruster, but it's designed to be a quad with this bigger rib in the middle. Kind of acts as like a little stabilizer anyway, and how the fin placement was, it's truly meant to be a quad. They put 5 fins on there so people don't get so scared of their first quad. They can, you know, go run back to a thruster, and that's what I did on my first one. Got a thruster or 5-fin setup so I can go to a thruster or a quad, and I literally rode it for a half hour, came back in, put in the small fins, and never went to a quad and never turned back. This board is amazing in almost every condition. You know, it excels obviously in poorer waves and stuff like that, but this is a little bit wider than my normal boards. My normal boards are usually 18.6. I went to 19 on my last one, which still worked pretty well. This one is 19 and a quarter, which you don't think that's a lot, but it is a lot to surface area. And then it's a little bit shorter. My shortboards are 5'8". This is 5'6", but it still carries probably extra liter in it. So it's almost like it was shorter, and then a rolling pin squished it out a little bit more. So it's a little wider, a little bit more full in the nose. It is, these usually come in an 84 rail, which It's a little different rail. I keep this as my shortboard rail so I can switch back and forth, and sometimes I've even switched back in contest. I'll be riding this board in the morning on a fuller tide and then switch to my shortboard in finals and stuff like that as the day goes on. I used to surf for the kind, so I still have a bunch of pads that I've been running. You know, they just work. What else? This is an EPS, which is not a polyurethane. So it's EPS foam, plexiglass. They come in right under 4 pounds, naked without any pads or anything on them. 4 pounds. Actually, I like them a little under 4 pounds because I know the weight of the resin. Actually, the resin on different days, and I asked them to glass them on hot days, so a little bit more of the resin comes off, so not as much is soaked into the foam. So the flex just feels a little better. I know that the amount of resin that has been in there, you know, there's only so much that can go in. So at that weight, not a lot's got in, a little better flex for me. At, you know, my boards work around 153 to I would say 158-ish, about 5 pound swing. And then if I'm either heavy or I'm wearing thicker wetsuits or something, I go to this board, which is about a ½ liter more, which is the same board. Hebrews 4:12 on this one. Mookie Militia, what's up? Caw. Anyway, this is my backup board. This is about the same weight, but it's about a ½ liter more. A little different flex. It flex better when I have a thicker wetsuit on. As you can see, it's still pretty bladey. Let's see if I can get it in there. Something like that. Everything's pretty much the same except the liters, and this one's about a ½ liter more. So in the summertime when you're wearing less rubber, I'd go to a thinner board. In the wintertime, you go to a little fuller board, so you kind of have to, I usually ice boards during the year. Like I'll write a board in the summer, I'll be testing out a couple boards, and me and Rick Hammond will work on some stuff at Rusty, and if a board works really good, I wrote a board for 2 weeks, which was this one right here. Anyway, this one right here, and I knew it worked really good and instantly put it in the rack, and I didn't write it for, I think, like another month until the first. I write it, take it probably like 4 days before a contest. I'll take out my magic board and start writing them just so I can get used to it a little bit, even though it's not a big transition. When you're writing different boards and coming back to a board, it's nice to get that feeling, getting real comfortable on a couple days of a couple really good surf sessions. But the one I'm writing right now, which is supposed to be an exact duplicate of that one, ended up being a little bit fuller because we did on one of the other machines. It just came out a little fuller, but exact same shape. It's my 5/8 shortboard. 23, I think he put it on this one. Maybe not. Rick hates putting it on it. 23.8 or something is the liters. Got a Spikes Tactical Spider on the bottom. Pipe Hitters Union sticker, Muscle tape, Scotch, Matus, Psalms 144.1. Got the Crusader logo and rifle painted on there. Shortboards are thrusters. And this one is, I think this one actually went up to 19 inches on the width. I wanted to try a little bit wider board. And I just have, these boards are super simple. Single concave with, probably can't see it, just a little bit of V and a little bit of flip coming out the tail. That's how I like them. Super simple, slight concave, not super deep, coming to about the last 6 inches or so, the little bit of V. The rails are pretty rolled until about, see, about 4 fingers up, they usually say, above the fins, and then they start They're super hard tail. I like them thin and sharp in the tail, but then I like them turn the rails just a little bit, probably earlier than normal people. I like them bladey, but you know, when you're doing turns and you're doing reverses and stuff and airs, you like a little bit of forgiveness up top. Sometimes if you leave them a little bit too much edge, catching a lot of rail, they're like awesome cutbacks, but then you're just digging rails the whole time when you try to slide out or something. They're all pretty stock, except some of the rails. I like to keep them similar, so when I'm jumping back and forth on boards, I still have that same kind of feeling in cutbacks and stuff. They're still biting the same. You still have that sharpness in the rail, so it can dig, and how I know it's going to release. And when I'm, you know, when you're sliding your tail and stuff, you know, you pretty much know, you know, how it's going to react when you're coming sideways or backwards and doing reverses and stuff. Go check them out. They're awesome. Favorite boards ever.